0% wastegate duty cycle with the Tial and a 13-pound spring. 0% wastegate duty cycle with the Turbo Smart and a 13-pound spring. This is because it was hotter when I did this test. And this one will continue to go up as I do more testing. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is the correct profile. That is not. That is what Turbo Smarts do all the time. This is what it should look like when you have a 13-pound spring in it. You should have a flat boost curve around 13 pounds. For those who don't know, that missed the first half of this video, or the first part of this video, this is a different, or this is the same day, same car, same turbo, everything. Tried to test this new turbo, and the boost control was totally wonky. Narrowed it down to the brand new Turbo Shark wastegate, and put a Tial in it. Ta-da! The proper shape boost curve. 0% wastegate duty cycle. It's funny, before I even did the tune, I said, and we'll see how boost control is. It's got a Turbo Smart on it, but because they're shit. They're trash. Just like my cell phone holder. Yeah, so it also made more power. I'm kind of confused about that one, but probably it's not heat soaking the intercooler or something beforehand. So anyways, now I get back to testing this turbo and see what happens. So again, 0 wastegate duty cycle, conservative timing, relatively rich AFRs, 10.8. We're already up 20 horse from a stock turbo. It's a little misleading though, because this has the Mamba housing on it, which usually gives us about 20 for stock on a stock turbo. So right now, we technically haven't gained anything from the stock turbo with the Mamba housing, other than a little more boosted redline. So I'm going to add some duty cycle and try to hit this boost target, which I'm pretty confident with the Tial gate won't be very hard to do because they work. Start off just a straight 25% wastegate duty cycle in the target boost area, just to see what kind of reaction I get from the wastegate. I want to know how sensitive is it. It's got a 13-pound spring in it and it made 15 pounds of boost. That tells me that the system should be pretty efficient right now. It shouldn't be trying very hard, because wastegate spring pressure is based on exhaust pressure and boost pressure. If you think about how external wastegate works, I talk about this in my boost control video. The pressure on the exhaust, or pressure in the exhaust, pushes on the valve disc and tries to push it open. There's surface area there. And so if I have, say, 1 square inch of surface area, and I have 10 psi in my exhaust, I have 10 pounds of pressure pushing that disc upwards. And the spring has to have enough pressure to hold that 10 pounds back. Then I add in the surface area of the diaphragm in the wastegate. Say it's 2, and I had, well, I'll say 10 pounds of boost in that as well. Then I have 2 square inches times 10 psi, gives me another 20 pounds of force. So I have a total now of 30 pounds of force trying to lift the disc of the gate. So the spring pressure has to be enough to resist that pressure, or that force. And that's how they work. So if my exhaust pressure, though, we'll say the system is very inefficient. If the exhaust pressure is 20, then what's going to happen is the disc is going to lift earlier, and you're going to get an actually lower boost number than your spring pressure. If the system is very efficient, then the exhaust pressure is going to be lower, and you're going to be getting a higher boost number for that spring pressure. So in this case, I have a 13-pound spring in it, and it's giving me around 15 pounds of boost. So the system appears to be very efficient right now, which means that as I add duty cycle, I should easily get more boost. We'll see if that's true or not. I did. And,
1 minute.
Now the surprising part to me, however, I didn't get more red line. I got more everywhere under 6,500, but it's tapering already. That's a bummer. That is not nearly as good as I had hoped. Review this log really quick. I just got a text message from somebody that said they learned a new word today, turbo shark. Yeah. Alright, so I'm a little depressed. Either Lane didn't torque the nut well enough on that compressor wheel, or this turbo is not what they say it is. Which is a bummer, because I was really hoping for some good results out of this thing. And they sure show a lot of dyno graphs that say that it gives good results. But, I mean, this torque, or this boost curve says otherwise. Let me give you a look. So I had 25% duty cycle. So the pink, let's see, it's hard to do zoomed in. The pink is what we just did over the red. Let's see, pick up boost everywhere until like 65 is dropping off. So if I keep adding duty cycle, will I eventually get Turbo Smart boost curve? Probably. I hope not, but probably. What's interesting though is that it doesn't seem to have any problem holding 15, like at zero duty. It's hardly dropping or anything. Let's add some more duty to that wastegate. See me closer to that target. You go to 35%, so man, 10% more. And see where that puts me. And then I can formulate my wastegate duty cycle table based on the results of these tests. So then I can set it, okay, if my requested is 15, my duty cycle is going to be 0 at 4,000 RPM, but say 20% at 7,000 RPM, that kind of thing. And then if it's a 19 target, then I know I need 35 at one spot and 45 at another. So I'll keep ramping these up and testing those areas, and with that, then I can make my wastegate duty curve, set the initial at about that, taking into account any added or subtracted amount based on coolant temp, or air temp and coolant temp, and then you do that math and you get a nice initial table that says this is where it should be, and then you bring the max up a little bit so that the proportional integral tables can do their job, the boost control system can do its job to try and hit those targets when the conditions are different. Wow. Wow, that's surprising. Not the power, but the response. I'm still bummed about the power. Bummed out about that. This thing was really sold as being bigger. And it does not appear to be. At all. I mean, it's a little bigger. It's not the 40 wheel that they show you on the website. It's not even close. not even holding power to red line. That's sad. Some of that's tuned. Obviously, I got to verify my cam timing is set right for the back pressure that the setup creates. I got to make sure I have enough ramp in the ignition in advance as I approach red line so that I can utilize. Yeah. That's not great. It's just not great. Show you. So the one that's higher on the left, that's boost. The one that's lower on the left, that's power. See, power, I mean, it's pretty smooth. The power curve is really nice and smooth. The problem is it's starting to go down over 6,000. That's not ideal. That's not very desirable at all, really. Like I said, I can mess with the tune a little more, a little timing there, tweak the cam timing a smidge. I can probably get that up some, but as much of the boost is dropping up there, I might not be able to. That might just be turbulence or back pressure or something. It does have the stock header on it, the stock up, no, not stock, it's not wastegate, the stock header, which will have some limitations, but not a lot. It's got a big front mount on it, COM SF. Plenty of airflow on the other side, plenty of airflow into it, and plenty of intercooling after it. More than enough intercooling after it. The exhaust sounds loud enough, like there's no restrictions to the exhaust. Obviously, I don't know that, but looking at maybe the pipe's flat and I didn't realize it or something. It's possible. But definitely behaves like this would. If you look at the mass airflow here, let me zoom it out. Right here in the middle. See the 305s, 305, 310. That it holds that. I mean, here's 5,500 RPM hits 300 at 5,500, and then it only goes up to 310ish. Oh, I see 312. That's it. Basically, it's 310 or less by red line. So we're not getting a big increase in airflow as the RPM increases. And that implies that something is at its flow limit. Is it the compressor? It doesn't. I wouldn't think so, but I mean it could be. It still is the same inducer and exducer as the factory compressor. The turbine wheel flows more. The turbine housing flows more, which maybe that by itself is the reason for the increased airflow. But I would really think that even then, I should still be able to get the airflow to increase more towards redline. But as you can see, it just isn't. I got some MAF turbulence too. I'm actually surprised at how much turbulence there is on the MAF. That's not very characteristic of a factor mass airflow sensor. And it's not characteristic of a COB SF either. It's really weird how turbulent it is. Usually they're quite a bit smoother than that. Yeah, that's pretty bumpy. 300, 297, 305, and you see how it's going up and down quite a bit. That's very like 15 WRX. Shitty feel. What's up, Kenneth? So, overall, so far, not impressed. I mean, I'm definitely impressed with how much better the Tial wastegate behaves over that turbo chart. But that shouldn't surprise anyone that's dealt with these wastegates before. Yeah, 21, 22 and a half degrees of timing at redline. That's not a little bit of timing. You know, there's timing on it. It's trying. Air fuels are a little on the rich side, but not bad. Intake has gone down to basically 0. It says 3, but that happens even though the requested is 0. Belt stretch and all kinds of things will affect that. But still 0 to 3 is basically 0. And then exhaust is 17. That's usually a pretty good spot. Sometimes you can go down to 10 or something in this region. You might see some gains, but the exhaust cam doesn't usually yield a whole lot of gains unless you're dealing with a ton of back pressure. But the system doesn't seem like it's dealing with a ton of back pressure. It seems like it's dealing with a flow limit somewhere. I don't know. Calculated load gets up there too. It gets up to 336, and then dives pretty hard, 2.62-ish around redline there. It's a pretty hard drop at the top end. So sad. Wow. Uh-oh. What's going on there? I have never seen that on a Subaru before. Why would one go to one extreme and the other go to the other? That's bizarre. I wonder if that's a data error. The fuck? Fuel pressure's correct. Nice airflow, looks about right. But that is whack. Oh, I know what it was. I know what it was. They drove it to the dyno with a leak. Reset that. We'll just flash these changes for now, and then I'll work on this boost on this wastegate duty some more. Obviously, you don't leave that shit like that. That's just ass right there. That doesn't make any sense. This is for testing purposes only. That is not a finalized wastegate duty map. That's just. Figures the day that my wife is sick and I need to get tunes and shit done. Cars have fucking problems. The Mustang, that was it was what I expected with a Mega Squirt system in it. It was actually a little better than I expected, to be honest with you. But it still had the same types of issues with idle air control not working, not being set up for idle control timing, not being set up for a lot of stuff, and then other things. The coolant temp sensor wasn't reading correctly. I don't know if they had the wrong sensor in it or what, that wasn't reading right. And obviously you can't tune an engine if the coolant temp is wrong. I adjusted a bunch of stuff that was left zeroed out, which should have been adjusted to make the car run better. I tweaked the time map in cruise and a bunch of other areas where it should have been adjusted and it wasn't. But overall, it needed some help. So he had to go after a couple hours of me fucking with it and troubleshooting it. Oh, the O2 sensors aren't working either. Did I say that already? I don't remember. So we're gonna have to fix the O2 sensors, coolant temp sensor, and then with that, then we can actually start tuning it and making sure that everything is as it should be. Screen is black. Huh. You guys can't see me? Did that help at all? Video in blank. I backed out the video and re-entered. Is it still black or is it just you had to re-enter? No, what? I asked too many questions before I got a no. Alright. What the heck can I do about that? What is this here? This is a filter, and I want no filters. Turn the camera on. Can you see my laptop now? Weird. I mean, I'm looking at the screen. The screen is showing the camera. That's really weird. I mean, I'm looking at what the camera's showing. It's on the screen. It shows my ugly mug. Well, now it shows the laptop. Weird. Let me see if I think this. No app or nothing. Just straight from my phone to YouTube. That's bizarre. I've changed the cameras around. I have. Let's do this. I'm gonna hit this button. No, phone's not hot or anything. Everything's good. Huh. Oh yeah, I mean, with all the things I've said, it would not surprise me if it was my own government. Every time you said there's a light and then blink. Well, that sucks. Well, I don't know what to do. I guess I just end it and try again later or something. No, it's not. It's just sitting here in the car. It's weird. Maybe there's infrared or something. Well, I'm just going to end the video because obviously it's not working out. I apologize. I don't know why I'm having these issues. I reset the ECU to get rid of that fuel trim. Alright, let's see here. I added more duty cycle to it. Trying to get the boost up towards redline some. It didn't really help. So it looks like we have a combination of... Oh, that's not true. It went up 1.5 pounds. But I put the duty cycle up to 55 from 35. And 1.5 pounds is not adequate. That's way too much duty cycle to add for only 1.5 pounds of boost. I wonder if the factory blow-off valve is lifting, or bypass valve is lifting. They're putting the bumper back on the car right now. They all want to go home. Still black? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I apologize. My camera, other than being my face, it looks good, you know, but, all right, well guys, I'm gonna call it. In conclusion, I'm gonna say, one, the Tial gate is definitely fucking better than the TurboSmart gate. Like, it actually responded the way it was supposed to. It hit the pressures it was supposed to. It responded to wasting a duty cycle like it should. And it was overall just a better experience, a better operating valve. Two, this hybrid turbo that they talk about, that they sell on eBay, is not what it's cracked up to be. At least not on this car. I am definitely not seeing the results they claim that it gets. 304 is only about 25 to 30, maybe, if I'm stretching it, more than the stock turbo would get. On this car, potentially more than that because the wheels and tires are so big. So I'll probably have to do another test, but overall I am underwhelmed with the performance of this hybrid turbo setup, and not sure I believe the hype associated with it, which is a little bummer. But I mean, 30 wheel. The girl that owns the car got a good deal on it. It's more than she even wanted out of the turbo anyways. So overall, she's gonna be happy. She's got a good setup, but I was just hoping that the turbo would perform better. I do want to try again on another car that's more stock and see how it does on a more stock car, to see if maybe this car being really low is killing power, and big wheels and tires, they do kill power. But I don't know how much it's killing because I didn't have this car on here before to measure. So it could be that we're 50 wheel above it, and that this drivetrain and this low setup is actually killing all the power. That's very possible. But that doesn't change the fact that is barely holding 16 pounds of redline with 55% wastegate duty cycle, with 15 pounds of duty cycle happening at 0. Just not adequate. So those are not the results that we wanted, and not the results that we definitely would hope for. I am going to check the internal wastegate arm because it's not being welded. It wasn't welded shut, it's just held shut. I'm going to check that here in a minute in case for some reason it did come loose, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the turbo's not as good as they say it is, which is a bummer. But this market is full of that, and that's why I do what I do as much as I do it, and try and do it in the public's eye so that you can see how much of this market is actually just bullshit, sadly enough. So anyways, guys, maybe gals, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great weekend. I won't be back on until next week. I've got a bunch of stuff happening and a trip to California too next week. I may stream during the trip, shoot the shit, that kind of thing, but that's about it. I'll see you guys around, and I'll probably stream the new car. I'm getting a new car, so I'll probably stream that. It's nothing too fancy, but it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. But again, thanks again. I'll see you guys around, and have a good one.